Live from the Crescent Moon Temple, it's the morning show with your host, Tolinar. Hey, check this out. Ooh, it's time to play the music, switch all of the cameras on. It's time for the morning show, and I'm going it alone. Just quickly check the chat room. There is nobody home. It's time for the morning show, and I'm doing it on my own. Morning, guys. The host, the guests, the audience, it's what I'm here to be. There's no one even watching. This all depends on me. But that's nothing unusual. It's just another day. I'm sure that I can make my life great if I do it my own way. Okay. Double check Twitch integration. All systems are good to go. One last quick mic inspection. Fine for audio. We have a backup standing by. Pick a topic of conversation. Something I ought to know. Modern news is too confusing. We're going to keep it simple. Maybe we can talk about willpower today as a form of chemicals? The host, the guests, the audience, it's what I'm here to be. There's no one even out there. This all depends on me. But that's nothing unusual. It's just another day. If I want to make my life great, I've got to do it my own way. The host, the guests, the audience, it's what I'm here to be. There's nobody else out there. This all depends on me. But that's nothing unusual. It's just another day. If I can make... Oh, hi, Trio. Sorry, I'm saying good morning to Trua. Good morning, Trua. Today on the morning show, we'll be discussing willpower as a form of chemical. Yeah. Now we're going to do the cool, edgy music. Twitter's dying. Nothing special there. Nothing to see here. Oh no. It's a smoking crater on the ground. Well, crap. Crap on a cracker. Today's morning show is brought to you by the letter C and the number 2. And by viewers like me, because, brother, I'm it. And by DJ Artillery, who is apparently still in the audience, wherever the hell that is. Please enjoy the show, sir. Yeah, my good friend True's comments last night were a little dark, so I'm just performing a safety check on her and make sure everything's okay. All right, now let's get the volume adjusted. We'll get scaled around here. Today is the 17th of January. Oh boy, sleepy. The 17th of January it is, indeed. All right. Well, I took a peek at the one viewer who's watching the channel. Yep, I've got this nice farmer thing, and I think it looks good. And then I also got a hold of this one. Do I have that now? Isn't that adorable? Yeah, I like this one the best. This is pretty good. That's pretty nice. Look at that. Oh yeah. This is done by Pika, Ray Comey, right? Really good stuff. Right. Hazumi Aline announces first solo concert for 5-year VTuber milestone. And some random loser says he'll be singing also. No one cares. Don't you forget about me. No. It's a nice morning. It was, anyways. Until I destroyed everyone's eardrums with whatever the hell that was. We're gonna make it. Maybe. Maybe we're gonna make it. We're gonna try to make it. I can't promise you I'll try. But I try to try. Okay? That's what you get. Whether it's good enough or not, I'm not giving you. Yeah, you're panning for something cool. Something edgy or witty. What the heck do you think you're doing this morning show? We're not gonna get that. We're gonna get some lassi. You kids with your skateboards and your ballyhoos, just ride your velocipede on out of here. Whatever. That's beyond ridiculous, man. Even for you. Even for you. What is that? Get this. How did this end up? Okay. Fine. Lassi. Let me get my drink down, and we will talk about willpower and its real nature. We are listening to Kentaro Sato and the Budapest Symphony Orchestra performing Stardew Valley, the soundtrack to my life. We're doing pretty good. Oh boy. You can't call your game a viral sensation before anyone's played it. It doesn't work. That sucks. Yeah. Da-da-da-da-dee. Well, how we do it? Getting some lassi in me. Willpower is the ability to persevere when things get tough. Most people find that they are stronger than they think when put to the point. But we tend to judge willpower not by our actions when things are at their worst, but when things are good, when things are comfortable. We judge our ability to manage ourselves and other things by how we behave when conditions aren't great. When we have very little pressure on ourselves. Mm, mm, mm. All right, I have my lassi. Let's talk about willpower. Willpower comes in a lot of different shapes and sizes, honestly. There's a lot of different facets to it. We're having a fine morning right now. I'm going to get myself around here. Mm. Mm. Okay. There we go. All set. And this is all set too. It's been kind of a cold morning, kind of a chilly morning, so I'm going to crawl back into bed while I talk about willpower and lay there like I'm half asleep until I fall asleep while talking about willpower. You see, willpower, people tend to think it is some inner strength that you must draw on at times when you're challenged and you need the kung fu power. It doesn't quite work like that, actually. There are some similarities, but the truth is, willpower depletes a series of chemicals in your mind. What do these chemicals do? What is the point of these chemicals? They are essentially converters. So, the human mind runs on autopilot. Like 90% of the time, the human mind runs on autopilot. It knows how to finish sentences, and it knows how to finish talking, and it knows how to finish putting together a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and it knows how to do all of these things like yawning and stretching. Now, when it comes to suddenly solving a math problem like 11 plus 3, if it does it enough times, it can do that automatically too. It runs into a problem like 11 divided by 3, and it stumbles for a moment. It's like, oh, wait a minute, that's 4 2/3, isn't it? Or is it 3 2/3? I think it's 3 2/3. You have to channel the other end. The subconscious self fills in a whole bunch of the gaps of who someone is, and this all runs on the habit battery. When habit battery runs out, you're done for the day. You can't do anything if you can't do it automatically. But most people have a pretty big battery. Willpower represents what happens when you can't run something on the habit battery. For that to happen, habit has to say, no, that behavior is a dry well. That behavior has no good returns. That behavior is going to result in negative consequences. I don't want to do that anymore because there's no reward for doing that. There are 7 cardinal motives. I've discussed it several times on my morning shows. They are the urge to survive, the urge to be important, the urge for emotional connections, the urge for aesthetics, cleanliness and art, the urge for discovery, the urge to experience life, and the urge to be treated fairly. An action that a human takes is usually to improve one of these 7 values. And in the case that an action that is supposed to improve a value doesn't improve it, habit takes a very specific liner note on that. It says, now hang on a minute, we did that, where's the reward? We did it, I saw it happen, I'm sure we did it. I don't see any benefit from that. That is a dry well. That is an effort that did not pan out. When a human does something for the first time, that doesn't require willpower. It requires ingenuity, it requires focus and attention, but it doesn't require willpower. It's effortless because the Conscious mind is locked into a figure it out as I go phase. Willpower is used anytime the conscious mind forces the body to do something that the habit engine says waste of time. Habit has already concluded that the activity you are attempting to engage in is probably not worth the effort. Habit says, no, that is not going to work out for us. We're not getting the emotional return that I want to see on it. I'm not feeling any more important. This ambition just isn't breaking out. I think this is a failure. We're not more comfortable or healthier for having done it. I don't feel like we've got any good energy out of it. It has terrible aesthetics. I think artistically, you might as well be peeing on the floor. That's a bit extreme. I don't feel any wiser or smarter. And it feels like a waste of my time. I'd rather be doing anything else. So, why are we doing this again? Habit says. Why are we doing this? This isn't something that I approve of. There's a whole bunch of other things I'd rather be doing. We could eat something delicious. We could go explore something. I don't want to do this. So habit abandons you. And in order to continue to do it anyways, you must expend specific brainstem chemicals which reactivate the conscious parts of your mind. Doing something consciously, even though unconsciously you believe it has no value, drains willpower. Now, the habit engine is extremely detailed, balanced, and capable. It is capable of recognizing the value in things on the long term, and it has the full power of the brain. It's not a robot over there. So, you go to a job, and the first 3 times you do this job, your brain says, man, first time you did this was interesting. Already, this is getting old. This is getting old. I don't like this. We're doing this because we are expecting to get a reward later. And then you get paid. And your mind is like, oh, this resolves so many problems. We don't have to worry about that now. And I can get to eat as much as I want. I can spend this on cool, artful things that I want to have. Plus, look at what we achieved. I feel so important. I tell you what, it's a bit of a long shot, but this job thing is working out. So I'm going to help. I'm in. I am in for the job. Or the opposite happens. They're like, you know what? This isn't going to completely solve our problems. I still can't get the things I want. I feel like I'm wasting my time. I do not want this job. This job is not for me. I'm not going to help. You want to do this job? You do it yourself. And it's relegated to the conscious mind. When you use the conscious mind to perform a task that auto-perform should already be doing, it demands willpower. There's a lot of different things this could be. Just cleaning the dishes in the sink, for example. The mind says, I don't want to do that. Look, we can wash the dishes before we use the dishes, right? That's a beautiful shortcut. Now, I can do other things. No, I don't want to do that. That's just a mess. It means cleaning up a mess. It's going to get me messy, and I don't want to be messy. But if you force yourself to do it enough times, the mind can adjust its opinions. Like, you know what? This doing the dishes thing, I had this all wrong. Now that we've done this a number of times, I can see the house smells better and it looks nicer. And because there's so much counter space, we can get into all of the projects. This is enabling me to be creative, which I love, for the record. So why don't we do this more often? Yeah, I think I could do this more often. Increase the weights on this. Doing the dishes, love it. You're doing the laundry. Mind's like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And it doesn't find the benefit ever. So you just don't do the laundry. It sits around. You have to expend willpower to get yourself to do the laundry because your mind has decided that's a dry well, there's no point. But you only have so many of these counterbalance chemicals. To force your mind into conscious behavior requires a certain inner strength. Now, you're going to find that like most things you do in life, the more you do this, the more you consciously force yourself to do things you don't feel like doing, that habit's not going to help you with, the better you get at it, the more skill you develop at it, the more you are able to do it. But at first, it's just like learning to jog long distance. The first time you try, you're going to get a little ways and be done. No, how about no? And you got to pick your battles. You have to be cautious about which things you choose to concentrate on. Burnout happens when a person tries to force themselves to do something over and over and over again, pushing consciously against the unconscious saying, nah, that ain't worth it, that ain't worth it, that ain't worth it, that ain't worth it. Until it loses what little remaining value it has. And the conscious mind is forced to concede, yeah, I'm not getting proper results from this. And gives up on it. Let me just check to make sure my mic is on. Yeah, we're good here. All right. So, it comes down to the chemicals. In my case, the reason I do the morning show every single morning is partly because it is routine and it has become comfortable. And partly because it enables me to listen to my own thoughts and reorganize them. It's pretty good for logic and consideration, as well as the storage of my own thoughts. So it has some level of ambition involved. So all of my important thoughts are now in my morning show, and I can go back and listen to them if I feel like I missed them. And other people can find my work too, so maybe it is helpful to others. Although it never has been, it could be, you know. It is a form of growth for me. I am gaining strength and ability as I do this show every single morning. I have now been performing the morning show 17 consecutive times, although I almost whiffed once. I stayed in bed pretty long. I was late. At this point, habit's not helping me very much. Like, no, you do it. You want the morning show, you curate the morning show. So I consciously have to do it. And I wait until after I have eaten well and I have slept and my mind's chemicals are at their peak because I know it's going to be a drain. That's just how it is. It's going to be a drain on the battery to do the morning show. I will spend some of my resources that I have for free thinking and creativity and concentration, which I was going to spend anyways, because to give a lecture, to talk actively about a topic that you haven't been discussing till you're blue in the face, you have to use your conscious mind anyhow. So once you get into the morning show, yeah, it's easy. You're just rolling through it, discussing something, which maybe that's easy for you, and maybe it's not. For me, yammering about a topic is the most natural thing in the world. I've grown very used to my own voice. I'm sure everybody else thinks it's terrible, but I survive it because it's what I've spent my life with. And laying in bed and talking about topics that catch my interest, well, that's not so bad at all. I have a million of them. I'll probably always have more, for as long as possible anyways. And I get to chronicle the smaller, slower parts of my growth, Like Ray Comey's beautiful art of me, Mika did this nice picture. Here I am. In 30 days, habit will have caved in and decided, you know what, if we're gonna do it anyways, why don't I help? Or have completely refused, been like, you're nuts. Just keep doing it yourself because I'm not pitching in. In which case it will always take conscious effort to get up, switch on the streaming equipment, double check the mic, set up the sound files, make sure the images are all set, change the information from my stream header, start the stream a few minutes early, check to make sure the connection is clean. Am I recording this? Did I push the recording? Yes, I think I did push the recording, but I'm gonna get up and double check. Push the recording button as we cross 8 a.m. In this case, I think I pushed the record button a couple seconds late. And so the stream's ending is actually, the intro music got clipped a little. Oops, sorry. Normally I start a few seconds early, but because habit's not helping me, I don't have the muscle memory. So I chunked it. Oh, that happened, unfortunately. If I stick to it, hopefully habit will help eventually. But maybe not. I have to admit, even I don't consider my morning show a success because no one watches it. I understand that it is a waste of resources, but I am very carefully choosing which resources to waste. I am spending time, roughly 1 hour, and a very small amount of effort to catalog my thoughts and store them in a morning show format, just like this, in a free-flowing dialogue. And YouTube can hang on to them for me. Just hold a big collection of my thoughts, just floating out on the internet. There it is. And someday I'll have them when I need them most. Maybe the world will find some value in this. And so it's worth the expenditure every morning. And I wait until the morning when I have the most energy to do this. I don't do an evening show. When I get home from work, the first thing I do is unspeakable acts, usually to the chocolate bowl. Then, after I have revitalized my battery to some level, maybe I stream a video game, or maybe I crawl into a bath, or maybe I sack out and take a nap. After work, my life has no consistency. Instead of running on a habit engine, I released a habit engine that has been running at full steam for 9 hours, performing the job. And my concentration engine, which has been helping the entire day. And I'm like, okay, habit is cut free. We're not going to force ourselves to do anything right now. And the conscious is in freewheel mode. So whatever thing happens to be the most appealing right now, that's what we're gonna do. Sometimes I hop on and play a video game immediately. Sometimes I dive straight into a bowl of sugar and just yomp our way down. Sometimes I immediately cook dinner and start eating that. Sometimes I take a bath. Sometimes I go to sleep. And it's all dependent on how I feel in the moment. Because the chemicals that control the autopilot and the chemicals that control the conscious decisions are both drained. And when those chemicals get low, you will take the low-hanging fruit. You will choose the option that has the biggest payout for the least effort. You'll be like, all right, what I want right now is a very positive experience that's not going to take anything out of me. So give me that chocolate. Give me that candy bar. It's not healthy for me in the long term. I don't need to be eating too many of these. But I understand that the body can absorb a certain amount of flex in my diet. And this chocolate's going to taste real good. And I have worked 9 hours. I have used up more than enough calories to be covered by one little Hershey's dark chocolate bar. I'm eating it. Give it to me. So I'll eat that, and I'm like, yeah, that's chocolate. That's so good. Because chocolate is a mood balancer. And mood balancers, among other things, help to restore the brain chemicals. So the body gets its sugar, which it then converts into more brain chemicals. And it gets the beautiful effect of chocolate. Hershey's is one of my favorites. And I'm just sitting there, all relaxed, with the survival engine jazzed, and art and experience getting a decent push. Now the compass is floating closer to the middle instead of rolling along half limpy. And the next task will be selected. Or maybe after streaming for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, my supply of chemicals that maintains my behaviors runs out, and I get very tired and stop talking about pain as truth. Because the topic is so thin that I don't have anything to say on. In this case, though, willpower as chemicals is fascinating because it means you can gauge exactly when someone's battery is going to run out. All you have to do is figure out how effective a task is to them. So if a task is especially effective for someone, then they can do it forever. Habit will keep things going. Habit will be like, oh yeah, this is the thing that keeps us healthy. We eat an egg every morning because eating an egg every morning is delicious, and because it makes us super powerful. We have a big rip-roaring morning. This is exactly what we want to do. There's no reason to break this habit ever unless we get bored. If Drive 6 says we have to change it up, we change it up. Otherwise, it's egg for a morning. Here we go, egg for a morning. Or we get up and we jump in the shower because it's comfortable and the house is cold. We don't want to be cold. We want hot water running all over us. Oh, it feels so nice to relax like this. Yay, survival achieved. So, these behaviors that need to happen get driven. But when you have to push on your own, or worse, push against something, you need to spend those willpower chemicals. Maybe hardest of all is to not do something that the body has decided, the habit engine has decided is worthwhile. Let's say we've got this chocolates, but we need to stay out of them. We can't have the chocolates. Willpower can be used to subvert the habit engine, no matter what it wants to do. You can say, don't do that. And we want to stay out of the chocolates because the chocolates, despite being delicious and comforting and absolutely amazing, well, there's something bad about that, and we don't want that to happen. Maybe it makes us fat. Maybe we break out or something like, I don't know. I don't believe it. But we're not doing the chocolate, so we're going to, when the habit engine directs us, hey, let's go do that, then the conscious mind has to take over and say, no, we're not doing that. You know that's not what we're doing. And block it off. That takes those chemicals. And the more you use those chemicals, the fewer there are. This is why drug and alcohol addiction are so dangerous. It's not the sort of thing that is easy to achieve because habit will never stop pushing. You have to figure out exactly which chemicals it is that the drugs or alcohol are pulling. And usually it's a mix. The boredom effect, emotional connection at times, possibly being important, or even the urge to survive, general comfort. You have to understand that an addiction will get its hooks into any motive that will result in that addiction happening. It'll pull on all 7 if it has to. That's right, not being able to drink alcohol is not fair. And I needed to survive. I'm in pain. I haven't had any alcohol. It hurts so bad. And I feel like I'm insignificant if I don't drink. I don't want to deal with my insignificance. I'm all alone, and alcohol helps me forget about that. I feel like life has no meaning and there's no beauty without alcohol. I think alcohol is beautiful. Or there's something I need to understand. I have to figure it out. I got to figure the alcohol out. There's some trickety trick I don't. Maybe if I, or I'm just bored. I'm bored, and if I drink, I won't feel bored. Just let me have it. Anything, anything, anything. And it pulls. Habits summon the power of the unconscious. And addictions use any levers they can to pull really hard. You can supplant those desires. You can take the human needs and fill them up all the way. The person's healthy and comfortable, so they don't need to have any drinks. They feel like they're doing enough in their life, so they don't feel insignificant. They feel emotionally cared for. They have support. You don't need alcohol to forget about that. And life is beautiful without it. There's good movies and art and film stuff, good stuff to watch, good stuff to look at. Life is clean and healthy. We don't need a beer. And then we understand logically that there's nothing in alcohol to be learned, nothing to be discovered. And we find other ways to satisfy our boredom. You know, we actively poke around the world. We enjoy the universe for what we got. We get the good stuff. We don't need the alcohol. And we understand that no one controls whether we drink or not but us. So, in all fairness, our ability to stop drinking, that depends on us, not anyone else. So, with all 7 motives satisfied, the habit engine is still going to look at taking a drink and think, well, this still has so many positive effects on us, from my perspective. Consciously, we know better. Consciously, we know that alcohol is bad, but unconsciously, it carries a lot of weight. We have to stop long enough for the weight engine to say, no, I don't think that's actually worth it. I think the value of having quit outweighs the value of going back. Because going back has a bad aesthetic. Going back feels weak and pathetic. And having quit feels strong and capable. And there's all these benefits to having quit. And going back has all these drawbacks. And this acts as an active counterbalance to the fact that we feel like it would probably help us, even though we know consciously it wouldn't. The habit engine gets distorted and says maybe it would help us. So that's why it's so hard to deal with addictions. They mess with the network. They use the unconscious mind against us. I spent many years of my life actively avoiding habits, avoiding making routines, just living life in the moment as much as possible, just trying to be zen. It was exhausting, really, really tiring. In the end, I ended up floating like sea foam on the world. Only just barely doing anything. Just coasting with life. It's like a half existence. Because you can't actually stop using habits. It doesn't work. You'd start babbling like a baby. Even things as simple as communication use habits. All you can do is break down the higher end habits. The ones that have less motive and power behind them. And then, with your higher end habits broken down, what in the world are you going to waste your time on? What are you even going to do? There's no direction provided by the universe. You're going to have to figure it out. Well, how? What? So, you see the complication here. The world won't provide you the answer. You have to figure it out yourself. So we always build habits. And these are the two parts of the brain that maintain the balance. The conscious part that wants to do something, and the unconscious part that maintains the 7. Oh. For now, I think I promised everybody a nap, didn't I? I think that sounds good. Let's get some sleep. Let's just cuddle up right here. It's a good idea. So quiet this morning. Me and my glorious audience of one person. As it turns out, that one person is me. My conscious battery is empty again. Gonna have to sleep it off. But we're getting stronger every day. And I am going to do some new creating. I'm going to expand and create workshops. I'm going to be able to create music, be able to do programming at the same time as I wander around the house and do cleaning. I'm going to set up layouts for all of these different things. And I'm going to very slowly build out this morning show into a full day routine. So far, we are 2 weeks and a little bit of change into the Overlord project, minus the 6 months that were invisible startup. It's been a wild ride. Someday I'll tell you all about it. Right now, though, it's so nice to nod off. Wow. Mm. Karaoke would be nice. Of course, I would credit all my songs. Writing my own music would be nice. And break it down. Or writing my own band. Have lots of fun. I want to play a little more Blueprints. I think this just might be nice. I plan and pray it might be nice. Well, if the intro music is playing again, I guess the show is ended. Good night, folks.